be taken to imply that anxiety is exclusively a modern problem or solely a Western one. I hope that this book will stimulate similar surveys in other parts of the Eld. Because of the vital general interest in the subject of anxiety, I have stated my findings so that they will be clear not only to professionals, but also to students, to social scientists, and to those who seek a psychological understanding of modern problems. This book is in fact pertinent to the concerns of intelligent citizens who feel on their own pulse the tensions and anxiety-creating conflicts of our day, and who have asked themselves what the meaning and causes of this anxiety may be, and how the anxiety can be dealt with. For those interested in a comparative survey of modern schools of psychotherapy, this should serve as a convenient text, presenting as it does the views of a dozen leaders in this field. There is no better way to understand these various schools than to compare their theories of anxiety. Rollo May, New York, New York, February 1950. Forward to the Revised Edition. Since the first edition of this book appeared in 1950, there has been an enormous amount of research and interest in anxiety. In contrast to the fact that only 2 books were written on anxiety before 1950, scores were published in the last quarter century. And in contrast to the half-dozen papers exploring the subject before 1950, it has been estimated that at least 6,000 studies and dissertations on anxiety and tangential subjects have appeared since 1950. Anxiety has certainly come out of the dimness of the professional office into the bright light of the marketplace. I am gratified that the original meaning of anxiety spurred some of this surge of interest. But with all the devoted efforts on the part of gifted persons, I know of no one who would claim that the riddle of anxiety has been solved. Our knowledge has increased, but we have not learned how to deal with anxiety. Though the concept of normal anxiety as advanced in the first edition of this book has been generally accepted in theory, the implications of it have not been faced. We still cling to the illogical belief that mental health is living without anxiety. We seem unaware that the delusion of living without anxiety reveals a radical misperception of reality, a point made inescapably clear in our day of atomic radiation and the hydrogen bomb. Anxiety has a meaning. Though part of this meaning can be destructive, another part also can be constructive. Our very survival is the result of steps taken long ago to confront anxiety. Originally, primitive man, as both Freud and Adler have said, experienced anxiety as a warning of the threat to his life from the teeth and claws of wild animals. Anxiety played a prominent part in our forefathers' development of his capacity to think and his ability to use symbols and tools to extend his protective reach. But in our day we still see our major threats as coming from the tooth and claw of physical enemies, when they are actually largely psychological and, in the broadest sense, spiritual. That is, they deal with meaninglessness. We are no longer prey to tigers and mastodons, but to damage to our self-esteem, ostracism by our group, or the threat of losing out in the competitive struggle. The form of anxiety has changed, but the experience remains relatively the same. Anxiety is essential to the human condition. For a personal example, I experience anxiety before every lecture, even though I have given hundreds of them. One day, tired of enduring this tension which seemed so unnecessary, and with the help of a strong resolve, I proceeded to condition myself out of the anxiety. That evening I was perfectly relaxed and free from tension when I mounted the platform. But I made a poor speech. Missing were the tension, the sense of challenge, the zest of the racehorse at the starting gate, those states of mind and body in which normal anxiety expresses itself. The confrontation with anxiety can, note the word can and not will, relieve us from boredom, sharpen our sensitivity, and assure the presence of the tension that is necessary to preserve human existence. The presence of